Hello and welcome to Take Finance. In today's video, we will be talking about women financial rights in India. I've tried covering all the major financial rights which you being a woman must know residing in India. And this way you won't just be financially independent but also you would be able to stand and secure your financial rights as and when required. So this video is going to be very informative and interesting. I would request you to watch the video till the end. If you like the video, do hit the like button and do not forget to subscribe to my channel. Also, I would like to mention that there are many playlists. The link to many playlists has been given in the description box, and there are several videos related to banking, insurance and management. You can find your video of interest and you can watch it. All the links are given in the description. Okay, so let's start with the video. First right which we are talking about is right to Stridhan. Most of the women are not aware about it, so it becomes important to mention this right. Now, right to Stridhan provides you an absolute right on all the gifts or assets that you have received during your wedding, before it, or even after it. So you are having your solely and absolute right on it. And this is governed by Hindu Succession Act. So it would be applicable to all Hindu women. Now you also must keep this in mind that many times what happens that whatever you receive during your wedding later on it is claimed by your husband and in-laws, but you must know that you are having solely absolute right on it. You can share your gifts or your assets with your husband or in-laws as per your will, as per your wish. You can't be bound, you can't be forced to do so. Alright, one thing more is that women can claim Stridhan even after divorce. So even after you have separated from your husband, you can claim this Stridhan, whatever you have received from your husband. Now, denying the claim could charge your husband and the in-laws criminal prosecution as domestic violence against your husband and in-laws. So this you need to keep in mind that you are having your absolute rights on whatever you receive as gifts or assets or jewelries during wedding, childbirth or any other occasion. You are having an absolute right. It's on your will to share or not to share. Second right which we are talking about is right to equality at workplace. So many of the women must be aware about it and you must be informed because it becomes important that you have equality at your workplace. So we are talking about the Act, Equal Remuneration Act 1976. Now this Act provides that your employer must make equal payment to men and women workers if you are at the same position, if you are doing similar work. So there could be no discrimination in terms of payment, salary on the basis of gender. So this is very clearly mentioned in Equal Remuneration Act. So you must claim your equality if you find anything unjustifiable in terms of your salary, in terms of your remuneration. Also, you must consider that beside this act talks about equality, it also says that if there is some kind of preference being provided to female workers in terms of maternity, in terms of any special treatment, reservation benefit, etc., that cannot be discarded due to this act. Because many a time it happens that people say, if we are talking about equality, what about the special treatment, the reservation benefits, all that is being provided, that could be discarded. But no, this act does not discard any special privilege being provided to you as a woman, whether it's about reservation, whether it's about benefit, whether it's about any particular special treatment. So that cannot be discarded, which is governed by any other act. Alright, so this act talks about fair pay. This act talks about equal pay and no discrimination on the basis of gender if you're doing the same work. Now it became important, right to equality, which came in 1976, because there was a time in India when women were facing a heavy discrimination in terms of their payment beside they were doing the same amount of work. So this act becomes very helpful and you must be aware about it. You must know that you are being paid fairly. The third right which we are talking about is right to property. So this has been very fair after the 2005 amendment of the Hindu Succession Act. that a daughter, whether married or not, has equal rights to her father's ancestral property as her brother. So now, whatever is your father's ancestral property, not just his sons could claim it, also his daughters could claim it. Daughters are having equal rights as sons in father's ancestral property. Okay, so here we are talking about ancestral property. You must know that if your father is having has created his own property, it is up to your father will. So if your father prepares a will and for any reason keeps you out of that will, it may happen that you won't be able to claim on your father's property. But again, if your father hasn't prepared any will, as per Hindu Succession Act, you would be class 1 heirs and you would be provided your equal right as your brothers or any other class 1 heir member. You also must note that a woman has equal legal rights to inherit her husband's property. So other than father, you are also having your legal rights on your husband's property as any other heir of your husband. Now, she can inherit it only if husband hasn't prepared a will. Again, it goes like if your husband intentionally prepares a will and keeps you out of that will for any particular reason, mentions the reason that is valid, and the prosecution goes into the court, then it may happen that you can be excluded from the will. But if there is no will prepared and if your husband dies, then the property of your husband would be it would be distributed equally among all the heirs, including you. Also, you must notice that if a husband gets married to other women without dissolving the first marriage, without having divorced from you, without being separated from you, if your husband gets married to other women, the right to your husband property belong to you, being the first wife. Alright, so again you can claim your rights on the property. So this way you can see that Hindu Succession Act governs you to the equal rights in your father's property, in your husband's property, as well as if you are having your own property, no one else can claim it other than your will. The fourth right which we are talking about is right to maintenance and alimony. Now this is governed through section 125 of IPC. It gives a married woman the legal right to seek maintenance from her husband for a lifetime. So if you are married to someone and you are not working, assuming that you are not working or you are working but you are getting lesser salary as compared to your husband, so you can seek right to maintenance from your husband. Now even after your divorce happens, you can have legal rights to claim your maintenance for yourself as well as your children. Now during the course of divorce, you can have interim maintenance, and after the divorce you can decide and get permanent maintenance from your husband for you and your children. Now when the wife is earning, so we were talking about in the case the wife is not earning. In the case when wife is earning, she can claim maintenance from her husband only if he earns more than her. Other than that, if both earns the same amount, she cannot claim maintenance from herself. So a woman cannot claim maintenance from herself, but again she can claim it for the child. Now the husband can also claim maintenance if the wife earns more. So these things you need to keep in mind when it comes to right to maintenance and alimony. If you are a woman who is not working and totally dependent on the husband, you can always claim maintenance and alimony from your husband regarding yourself as well as your child. But if you are earning more than your husband is having equal right to claim money from you after your divorce or separation. Next thing which we are talking about is Maternity Benefit Act. Again, it becomes important to know about it because this act protects the employment of women during the time of her maternity. Now, you must be aware that maternity is the period of pregnancy and some few weeks even after the childbirth. So that is considered as maternity period, and during this act provides that your employer must make full payment to you beside you are absent from the work to take care of your child. So this act is applicable to all the establishments, all the companies which are employing 10 or more employees. Now what is your eligibility for it? You must be working in that particular company for 80 days as employee within past 12 months. So within 1 year, you must have worked for 80 days, then you can claim this maternity. Now, maternity leave which will be provided to you is 26 weeks. If you are having more than 2 children, it would be 12 weeks. Okay, so this is the maternity leave period, 26 weeks. If more than 2 children, it would be 12 weeks. Now, you need to keep in mind that it is the full paid leave. So, during your maternity period, your maternity leave period, your employer cannot pay you half, cannot say that they won't make you payment. So, you must know your right in this sense, and you can claim your right. You can ask your employer to make, in case anything happens that your employer is not making the payment, you can always make a complaint and you can stand for your rights. Now, it is even mandatory for your employer to educate about the maternity benefits available at the time of their appointment. So, at your time of appointment in a particular company, you must be aware about it. Your employer is obligatory to educate all the female employees about it. Next, we are talking about is right to residence. Now, you must know that a married woman has right to stay in a matrimonial household. So, it's not on the grace of your husband, it's not on the grace of your in-laws, it's your right. If you are married, you are having a right to stay in your matrimonial household, which can be a house which is self-acquired by your husband. It can belong to your husband's parents. It can be an ancestral house. It can be a joint family home, a rented house, or a house that has been provided by employer to your husband. So anyways, these are all the examples of matrimonial household, and you are having full right to stay with your husband as your own residence after the marriage. So it's not on the grace, it's your own right. A married daughter has the right to residence in her parents' house as well if she is left, divorced, or widowed. You must also consider that being married also, you are having right to residence in your parents' house if you are somewhere left by your husband, if you are divorced, or if you are widowed, you can permanently stay back in your parents' house. Thank you for watching. I hope this video was informative. Do like the video, share it with other people, and subscribe to the channel DaveTech Finance. Thank you all.